Jeff P. And I'm Math Dad. I'm here to help you help your kids understand math. The three problems you see here are the typical way you might see three-digit addition and subtraction solved. All three are using what we call the standard algorithm. That's how I remember being taught. It's the easy way. You want to know something that's really interesting about these standard algorithms? Students aren't even expected to have these mastered until 4th grade. What? Then what do they teach in all the other grade levels? There are so many skills involved to making sense out of these standard algorithms. The earlier grade levels are developing these skills so that students can master things piece by piece until they can finally put it all together in 4th grade to get these standard algorithms. And today we're going to start with the most obvious skill of all: math facts. Math fact development starts in kindergarten, where students learn how to understand how to work within 5. The goal is not to memorize the facts within 5, but to start to develop an understanding of how these numbers are related to each other. And we want them to really develop the skill, and that's why we stick within 5. It's kind of like starting to learn how to ride a bike when using training wheels. Let's take a look of what that might look like. When kindergartners begin to learn about addition and subtraction, they'll be doing some direct modeling and relying a lot on their counting skills so that they can see that if they have 3 and they get 2 more, they now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same is true for subtraction. They want to directly model. If they have 5 objects and we end up taking 2 of them away, they can count to see that they have 1, 2, 3. Eventually, we want our kindergartners to be able to recognize that large numbers are made up of smaller numbers. And we can do that by looking at different arrangements of dots. When someone can look at arrangements of dots and just see how many there are, for example, when you can just look at this group and say, that's 3, we call that subitizing. And when our students get good at subitizing, it makes it a lot easier to see that big numbers are made up of small numbers. This is 5 because it's made up of 3 and 2. Or maybe they see it's 4 and 1. In the same way, we hope that they can see that 4 is 2 and 2. Or perhaps 3 and 1. When our students can start to see that when they find different ways to make a larger number, they can convert that into a sentence, they're starting to develop fluency within 5. Another tool that kindergartners use to help develop fluency within 5 is called a 5 frame. A 5 frame helps us visualize what 5 looks like. I have 5 spaces, so if I have 1 dot, how many more do I need to make a 5? I would need 1, 2, 3, 4. And if they've mastered subitizing, they would be able to just look at the spaces and see that it's 4. And what this tells them is that 1 plus 4 is 5. Or 5, take 1 away, gives me 4. Or 5, take 4 away, gives me 1. From just a 5 frame, you can see all the ways of making a 5. I can have 5 plus 0. I can have 4 and 1, 3 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 4, 0 and 5. Once our kindergartners become fluent within 5, we're going to add a few more spaces and we're going to make this a 10 frame. Then we're going to start adding a few more dots. And that's where we pass the baton to first grade. Let's take a look at what they do. One of the ways we're going to do that is to use our subtracting skills and dot patterns to develop sums that are greater than 5. We can see that this is 5 and 3. And if we count, we know that there are 8. Someone else may see that this is actually 4 plus 4, which gives us another way of making an 8. If we're going to become fluent at sums greater than 5, we're going to have to continue developing our subtracting skills and be able to see that this is 6. That will allow us to now see that 8 can be made up of 6 and 2. Using dots and dot patterns is just one way to help students see all the ways to make a larger number. Just like we started in kindergarten, we're going to also continue working with a 10 frame so that we can see different ways of making 10. See here, I have 7 dots. How many more do I need to make a 10? Well, I need 1, 2, 3. We can count them, we can subtractize them. Sometimes we may even have to place them. 10 frames are also good at just helping us organize our thoughts. Since we already became fluent within 5 in kindergarten, there's all kinds of things that we can learn from this. We know if this top row is filled, we always have 5. And now, if I add 2 more, that gives me 7. And again, with subtracting, I can see 7 can be made up of 4 and 3. I can see a 5 and a 2. There's all kinds of ways that I can see this. I can even shift one down here, and there's my 6 and my 1. I can use my 10 frame to organize into familiar dot patterns. Through modeling and experimentation, students start to become fluent at the addition-subtraction facts within 10. Once I've developed fluency working within 10, I may add another 10 frame so I can begin the work to work within 20. And this is where we pass the final baton to second grade. Now that our students are in second grade, our goal is to get them to memorize all of their basic math facts within 20 for addition and subtraction. Not by just rote memorization and timed math fact sheets, but by bridging the gap between what we learned in first grade and kindergarten about dot patterns and 10 frames so that they can visualize and see all of those sums and differences. Once these facts are mastered, second grade continues to use these facts to expand students' understanding of addition and subtraction within 100. When we take the time to help students understand relationships and learn concepts instead of just jumping to rote memorization, we give them a better chance of making addition and subtraction, just like riding a bike. My name's Jeff Dean, and I'm